I wanted to make a short video. I had basically like a 25-minute intro video I made for this YouTube channel, and I couldn't post it because I'm not quite sure why. Maybe I'll be able to post it soon, but there's like a certain length of video that has to be, my cat might be in here some, a certain length of video, I think you can post when you're first starting a channel, so I couldn't post them that long. I've had other channels that posted longer videos on, but this is Pirate. Yeah, just wanted I was thinking about this when I started my marketing company. It was about 4 years ago, a little less than 4 years ago. Like, everybody in my life was like, dude, this is not a good idea. Like, I had like some of the closest people. I remember this one guy, and he's still, him and I are just like, we get along super well. Like, I don't get to see him as much anymore, but he's an amazing guy, loves the Lord. And one of the closest people in my life at that time. And he was like, Jordan, I gotta ask you, are you okay? Like, mentally, are you okay? Like, are you having a mental breakdown? Like, do you need help? And because I left my job. I was like, man, I really believe the Lord's leading me to do something different, and I don't know totally what that is. And I only had a couple grand saved up, and I put in my 2 weeks at my job. I finished out those 2 weeks, and I still didn't know totally what I was going to do. And I ended up starting a marketing company. I felt like that's what the Lord led me to do. I was in the basement worshiping. It was the first Monday that I didn't have work. And I ended up doing about $30,000 in revenue for that business that first year. And that was really all I did with it. I ended up, a couple months in, I helped a guy put up some gutters. And I realized, I'm like, he's making bank doing this, or at least I thought he was. We really weren't getting paid that much from the company he was working for. But I was like, dude, like, you can make $1,000 a day. That's crazy, And he ended up bailing out, not paying us. And he actually owed me about $1,000 and had never paid me. I was only working for him like 1 day a week, but it added up over time. And there was another guy too. It was a real bad deal. He had a daughter, has a daughter, I should say. And he ended up, that guy had owed him some money, and it was bad. The church all chipped in to help him. I recruited all my buddies to come work for this guy, and then he wasn't doing good, and I believe he's doing a lot better now. But that was how I started the gutter business. Same thing with the gutter business. Everybody's like, man, what are you doing? Are you okay? The same guy again, one of the closest people in my life. He's like, are you okay? Do you really think you should be doing this? Like, this, I don't think it's going to go well. And all these people in my life were telling me not to do this. And I was just thinking, yeah, I believe like this is what the Lord's leading me to do. And by the end of this year, I think we've done over $1 million in revenue for the gutter business. And that is just revenue, and that's over the course of 3.5 years, I mean, so that's not super crazy for a construction company, but it's crazy for me because I was, but with my last job, I was making like $16 an hour, so it is pretty crazy. It's a blessing. And now with a lot of what I'm doing, which is part of why I want to make this channel, was to talk about some of it, but still not to go in extreme detail. A lot of what I'm doing now, if I explained to people in my life what I'm doing, they'd be saying the same thing. They'd be like, man, you should not be doing this. You should not be messing around with crypto. You should not be messing around with investing in stocks. And for me, it's like, man, what I do every day is so dangerous. Like, I should be dead like 20 times, Like, I've fallen off of roofs. I was sitting with my friend Cody, and we were talking, because he does painting. He does really dangerous stuff too every day. And we were talking about different falls and almost falls and all sorts of stuff, and we've both fallen off of roofs and fallen off of ladders and things. And it's like, man, every single day you might not be coming home, you know? Like that could be it. So to think about the risk of like using leverage and investing in crypto and all that stuff, man, people say all sorts of things. If I owned a house, I would leverage all that right now against crypto. If I owned a vehicle of value, I would, like, if I actually owned it, did no money on it, I would totally borrow against that and put it all into crypto. We're essentially just acquiring credit and not using credit to purchase the actual cryptocurrency because it could get flagged, but using the credit to essentially for our personal expenses, and then using money from the business, going out of our personal account to go into crypto. That seemed to be like the way that makes the most sense. I don't think that I'll be putting money in still, even 3 or 4 months from now. I really want to try to get everything in over the next like month, 2 months, and then kind of cut it off there. Because at that point I want to be taking profits. I don't think in 2025 I'm going to be putting any money into crypto, but between now and the end of the year, I want to absolutely leverage as much as I can. And if if I was to explain this to people in my life that are close to me, they'd be like, man, that's the worst idea ever. But for people who know crypto, for people who know where the market's at and know, what size altcoins to be investing in right now, like, they'd be like, okay, what are you doing? And I think if they looked at it, they'd be like, all right, that is pretty smart. And that's what a lot of these dudes are doing. Really trying to stay away from like all the really small projects, which are essentially gambling, but sticking towards like the large caps right now, and just dollar cost averaging into those over this, last month and a half of 2024. And then in 2025, I think I'm going to be done, putting money in, regardless of where I'm at, if it feels like it's enough or not. But then at that point, just taking profits throughout the year. So anyways, we'll see how it goes. I wanted to make some sort of video just showing, but I guess the main theme was, with any kind of business thing I've done, there was always dang near everybody in my life telling me not to do it. But with this stuff, with the crypto stuff, I was talking with my pastor about it today. I'm like, man, I really feel like I'm not supposed to explain to people, in depth what I'm doing. But I did want to document it. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this channel and not really show anybody. If my friends and family see this like a couple years down the road, like, cool, man. But like, for the most part, I didn't want to explain to anybody in depth what I was doing. Just because I felt like they'd really try and discourage it, or there'd be all sorts of things said, And man, I love Jesus, and like I want to help people. I hope this will help somebody someday. So that's kind of why I'm making this video. So anyways, God bless you guys. Have a good night from Mr. Pirate and myself. Talk to you later.